Have you ever looked around at your peers, colleagues, or people on the internet and felt a deep, suffocating panic that you are completely falling behind in the race of life? You constantly watch other people celebrate massive milestones, achieve incredible financial success, and find perfect relationships, while you feel like you are stuck in the exact same frustrating place despite working incredibly hard. It is dangerously easy to believe that the universe has completely forgotten about you, leaving you to wonder if all of your silent sacrifices and exhausting efforts will ever actually pay off. Before we dive into today's life-changing lesson on trusting your own unique timeline, please take a quick moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel so we can continue bringing you these powerful stories. Deep in the heart of a misty, ancient mountain range, there lived a young farmer named Kael, who had reached the absolute breaking point of his miserable, exhausting life. For 3 incredibly long years, Kael had worked from sunrise to sunset, pouring every ounce of his energy and all of his saved money into a barren, unforgiving piece of farmland. Despite his endless sweating, careful watering, and constant prayers, absolutely nothing grew in his fields, leaving him buried in heavy debt and completely humiliated in front of his successful neighbors. Every single morning, he had to watch the other farmers in the valley happily harvest giant, overflowing baskets of wheat and vegetables, while his own soil remained completely empty, cracked, and brown. The bitter sting of comparison slowly poisoned his mind, convincing him that he was fundamentally cursed, uniquely flawed, and absolutely destined to be a miserable failure for the rest of his natural life. Completely broken and ready to abandon his farm forever, Kael walked deep into the thick forest to seek the ultimate guidance of an old, legendary Zen master who lived near a sacred waterfall. He found the peaceful master sitting quietly on a mossy stone, surrounded by towering, magnificent green bamboo stalks that reached hundreds of feet into the bright blue sky. Kael fell to his tired knees, tears streaming down his dirt-covered face, and begged the master to tell him why the universe was punishing him with such a cruel, unbearable amount of failure. "I have done absolutely everything right. I have worked harder than anyone else in the entire valley, but my land refuses to grow, and my life is a complete and total disaster," Kael sobbed heavily. The wise master opened his eyes slowly, completely unfazed by the young man's desperate panic, and pointed a thin, wrinkled finger toward the lush forest floor in front of them. "Look closely at the beautiful, wide green fern plants spreading across the ground, and then look up at the massive, towering bamboo stalks stretching endlessly into the clouds," the master instructed with a calm, gentle voice. "Many years ago, I planted the tiny seeds of the fern and the seeds of the bamboo on the exact same day, watering them both equally and giving them the exact same amount of love and attention. Within a few short months, the fern quickly burst from the soil, spreading its brilliant green leaves completely across the forest floor, completely covering the ground with vibrant, immediate life. But the bamboo seed did absolutely nothing, remaining completely invisible and hidden beneath the dark, cold dirt for an entire year, despite my constant watering and careful nurturing." Kael stopped crying and listened intently, completely captivated by the calm rhythm of the old man's story, desperately waiting for the profound lesson hidden within the master's words. The second year passed, and the fern grew even larger and more beautiful, yet still absolutely nothing came from the bamboo seed. Making it look like a completely dead and hopeless failure, the master continued softly. By the end of the 4th year, there was still no sign of the bamboo, and anyone else would have completely given up, assuming the seed was rotten and their daily hard work was a total waste of time. But I did not stop watering it, because I knew a secret about the bamboo that the impatient world does not understand. It was not resting, and it was certainly not dead. During those 4 invisible years, the bamboo seed was busy growing a massive, incredibly complex network of deep underground roots, building a foundation strong enough to support its massive future. Then, in the 5th year, a tiny, fragile green sprout finally broke through the surface of the dirt, looking completely unimpressive compared to the massive, sprawling ferns. But because its underground foundation was so incredibly deep and strong, that tiny sprout violently exploded toward the sky, growing an astonishing 90 feet tall in just 6 short weeks. The master gently placed his warm hand on Kael's shaking shoulder, looking deeply into the young farmer's soul with eyes full of ancient, undeniable wisdom and profound empathy. My child, the universe is not punishing you, ignoring you, or leaving you behind. It is simply making you wait while you grow the deep, necessary roots that your massive future requires. If the bamboo had tried to grow 90 feet tall in its very first year without building a massive underground foundation, the very first gentle wind would have completely snapped it in half and destroyed it. You are constantly comparing your own invisible, difficult root-growing season to other people's highly visible, incredibly fast harvest season, which is a brutally unfair game that you will always lose. Kael felt a massive, suffocating weight instantly lift off his chest as he finally realized that his years of miserable struggle were actually his greatest preparation, not his permanent punishment. He walked back to his farm with a completely renewed, unbreakable spirit, no longer looking with bitter envy at his neighbor's fields, completely focused on watering his own seemingly empty dirt. When his success finally did arrive a year later, it was so incredibly massive and completely overwhelming that it dwarfed the accomplishments of everyone who had previously laughed at him. This ancient story holds an incredibly powerful, life-altering truth for anyone who currently feels completely stuck, heavily delayed, or desperately behind in the chaotic race of modern life. We live in a highly toxic culture of instant gratification, where we expect immediate success, overnight wealth, and instant love the moment we put a tiny amount of effort into the world. When we do not see immediate, massive results, we completely panic, immediately label ourselves as tragic failures, and seriously consider giving up on our biggest, most beautiful dreams. But you must fundamentally understand that your personal life journey is absolutely, completely unique, and you are operating on a customized timeline that cannot be compared to anyone else's path. The people you see succeeding incredibly fast in their 20s might be like the fern, peaking early but staying incredibly close to the ground for the rest of their natural lives. If you are constantly facing brutal delays, repeated rejections, and long periods of silent isolation, the universe is likely preparing you to be a towering, magnificent bamboo tree. Your current silent struggles, your painful failures, and your lonely, exhausting nights are all actively building the massive, deep roots required to sustain the incredible weight of your upcoming success. Stop intensely staring at other people's highlight reels and comparing their brilliant chapter 20 to your difficult, Confusing Chapter 1. Jealousy and constant comparison are the absolute greatest thieves of human joy, actively draining the precious energy you desperately need to keep watering your own unsprouted seeds. Trust that absolutely nothing in this universe happens by accident, and every single frustrating delay is actually a divine, perfectly timed protection from a disaster you cannot see. Sometimes you are denied what you desperately want right now simply because you are not mentally, emotionally, or spiritually strong enough to properly handle it yet. Take a deep, calming breath right now. Release the heavy, exhausting pressure of artificial deadlines and completely forgive yourself for not being exactly where you thought you would be by this age. You are not running out of time, you are not a failure, and your daily, quiet, hard work is actively accumulating beneath the surface, completely hidden from the mocking eyes of the world. Keep showing up every single day, keep fiercely protecting your peace of mind, and continue violently pouring your absolute best effort into the dark, seemingly empty soil of your current life. When your absolute breakthrough finally arrives, it will happen so incredibly fast and be so undeniably massive that you will completely forget all the painful years you spent waiting in the dark. Embrace your season of deep, invisible growth. Trust the brilliant timing of your own unique life, and confidently prepare your mind for the breathtaking harvest that is surely coming your way. If you found true value in this story and learned something important about trusting your own timeline today, please hit that like button, leave a comment below about your journey, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful life lessons.